Perfect Order just dropped about a week ago, and the prices are still tanking. I think there's a good chance actually that some of these products will head right down towards MSRP, and I would avoid investing in these altogether, but maybe at MSRP there would be some decent opportunity. It's just that there's so many other areas that are way better to put your money right now. I'd be staying away and only buying Perfect Order if you're looking for something to open cheap. So let's take a look at some of these products and where they're headed. The first thing is the booster bundle. The booster bundle is generally one of the easiest ways to get packs at a decent price, and I think this is something that actually could get close to MSRP. And I mean, it's not slowing down. Absolutely ripping down to 40. Probably going to go lower, um, but pretty soon because these sales volume is just so low. Only selling 50 to 100 per day on a set that just released is quite bad, and I can imagine that a lot of this will be available on store shelves as well. So this should definitely dip below 40. I mean, it wasn't, but a couple weeks ago, Journey Together booster bundles were down at $35, $34, which isn't quite MSRP, but is pretty close. And this is a way better set in my opinion, but that's just probably because I like some of the cards in here, more personal preference. Where Perfect Order, there's really nothing that I like in here, and I do think this could head down towards 30 bucks. Could get very close. Now I think booster bundle MSRP is $27 ish, 26 to 27. I think we could get close, but I don't know if it'll actually ever hit that because they simply won't print enough to keep supply up of this set. I don't think it's gonna have um, too many more large drops in the next few weeks. I think this is supposed to be a wave release. We could see wave 2 have a decent drastic effect on this as well. And I would think wave 2 is gonna come in just a week or two. I think last for Ascended Heroes they dropped essentially back to back for the whatever. Absolutely crashed after it released, down at $75. It's really not that insane. I'm kind of surprised. Um, if the bundle is so low, I would have thought this would be low as well, closer to pack price. It's not. It's not that bad, honestly. Um, Somewhere around $8 a pack, and it's not a good art. At least the PC ETB, in my opinion, looks pretty good. This looks terrible, but I'm surprised with this. Maybe it'll dip down lower, but we just haven't been getting a ton of ETBs or booster boxes lately on any set. So we'll see if the second wave releases. This could dip down lower, but I don't think this is gonna head to $50. Um, Maybe it would get down to like 60, but probably not gonna hit MSRP on the ETB. But the booster box is surprisingly low. It's now gotten below $200 again. And if there is a second wave of these, a lot of people are sitting on cases that they're not able to move because nobody wants a case of this for $1,200. There's a good chance that we see this head down towards 170. Will it get all the way there? Probably not. People will start taking advantage of the discount and just hold for a very, very long time because eventually it will go up. Eventually you would make money. I just think it would not be the most efficient use of your capital. And for me, I'm going to avoid any perfect order sealed as an investment, but I'd be happy to pick up some of it to open and enjoy, but not to hold on to long term. Now, what I do think is somewhat interesting is how these cards are reacting. The Mega Starmie has just constantly been going down, crashing pretty rapidly. And it looks like the Mega Zygarde is also doing the same, starting to flatten out right around $100. But My brother actually opened an ETB and got a Megastar Me EX SIR, and we cannot sell it. Been dropping the price slowly over time. It's not moving whatsoever. Um, Probably just because it just released a week ago, and this, even if it is one of the better cards in the set, it's just not really that cool. So I do think it's quite interesting that a couple of these cards are doing well. The Meowth SIR is actually rebounding off of 130 a little bit. Um, I'm sure if more product keeps coming out, this will dip back down just because the stock will be so high. But this is somewhat of a desirable card. I haven't gotten to see this one in person yet, but I'm sure it's pretty cool. And then the Clefairy illustration rare is holding its price really, really well, up at $35. I saw plenty of these at a card show 2 weeks ago. Um, or no, that was just about a week ago actually. And might have been, it was the weekend of release, so they would have all been opened in the last few days, and everyone had them priced out at $35. And I looked at two of them, and they were pristine condition. So I do think the print quality, at least on these, is pretty high. Whether there's a good grading play here or not, I'm not sure, but I could imagine that the Meowth SIR would be a decent grading play. You just have to be really careful as prices are going to rip down with lots of people sending these in express and trying to be the first to market. Um, I would wait a little bit, but in the future, I do think this could be a decent grading play, and so could the Clefairy and maybe even the Clefable, because the Clefable isn't a terrible card. It is connecting with the Clefairy, so the Clefairy would be down here pointing up at the regular Clefable, which is looking up towards the Mega Clefable, and it is dipping, but because of its connection to the Clefairy IR, I do expect this to stabilize at some point in the near future. Maybe it'll be $60 or so, and then you would be able to buy both for a reasonable price under $100. Would be pretty interesting. I think the Clefairy staying this high would be a surprise, but I'm sure this looks really nice next to like the Lily's Clefairy from Ascended or the Lily's Clefairy from Journey together. So as a reminder, if you guys enjoy content like this, please like the video and subscribe, and leave a comment down below what you think about Perfect Order. Has it been easy for you to find on the shelves? Let me know. I found quite a few packs myself. Another data point that I find really interesting is actually that the Mega Zygarde Gold and the Rosa's Encouragement SIR in Japanese are even more expensive than the English versions. Now, this could be just like TCG manipulation a bit, like you're dumping stock here, and there's probably not a lot of sales on the Japanese version of these cards. But only 185 for the gold Zygarde and $80 for Rose's Encouragement, where the Japanese Nihil Zero version, its last sales are at 115, and I'm sure there's a lot more on eBay, but for some reason this is even more. Could be texture related, or just the fact that there's a lot less available here in the US, with you having to buy Japanese product off of different online stores or look at importing it yourself. So it's a lot more difficult to get, and it's not going to be a very desirable set to open in the first place. Where you can get pretty much all of the other cards at about half price. For some reason, these two are actually a little bit more expensive. And you can get a booster box of Nihil Zero, the Japanese set, off TCG Player for only $75 or so. So if you wanted to try to chase after those two specific cards, this would probably be a much more, cost-effective option to buy and open, and then get the Japanese version, which might hold its value equally as well as English for these cards long term. So if you've enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments down below, and I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.